Hello, my name is Alexander Morari, and I'm the founder of ITKeyMedia. You've tuned into our podcast about Central and Eastern European startups that are in pre-Series A stage. And our guest today is Luke Pytel, the co-founder of Smabbler. That's a unified artificial general intelligence system with language cognitive capabilities, enabling machine reasoning from human language and automated handling of big unstructured text data. That's a mouthful.
Wow.
Hello, Luke.
Yes. I just want to, hello. Nice to meet you. Like you said, I'm Luke from Smabbler, co-founder. Aga Kopitko, the second co-founder, and Przemek Wierut is another one. Basically, like you mentioned, it's a mouthful. Maybe I can shorten it a little bit if it's possible.
Yeah.
Basically, it's text to data automation, right? So making text consistent, structured, and available for automations, analytics, and general insight.
Yeah, as a warm-up. So turning text into data.
Yes, text to data automation. Yes, because text is not a data. What do I mean by that? You see it, you have it, you can archive it, you can keep it in your repositories, you can have a mountain of textual assets in your company, in your organization, whatever. But they're not really accessible, right? Because by your standard applications, because they need to understand what is the data that they have to understand where to put it, right? In other systems, other fields. So to understand at scale what you have in your textual assets, this can be documents, emails, whatever that you have. You need something which is able to transform it to something readable by machine. So in some kind of data format, something structured. And this is where we are with Smabbler.
I was saying, so turning text, human text, into machine text, basically translating it. But I was expecting to hear from you a word similar to actionable, right? Is this the end goal as well? Not just for translation's sake itself, not the process, but what's the ultimate goal? To make the data hidden or encoded into text, to derive it and make it actionable. Is this the case?
Yeah, so basically to transform something which is locked, the knowledge which is locked in your textual assets into something which is usable. That means you have a centralized knowledge base in your organization, for example, that you have all this information is structured, it's accessible, it's consistent, and it can power or feed multiple applications, departments, different stakeholders, and so on. But you have something which you have a holistic view of the knowledge or the insights locked away in your textual assets. Yep. So basically it's like a brick for data federation from it's a middleware, it sits on top of your data repositories. It can be fed different inputs in form of text, and it can output them and store them on a knowledge base inside the organization that can be this, let's say, this input for all your different applications. So it's like this missing piece in the puzzle, like one of our clients says, right? On one side, you have knowledge locked away in textual assets. On the other side, on the front end, you have multiple stakeholders, applications, and reasons for actually getting that insight, right? And utilizing it, and in general, being more digitized, being more automated, being more insightful and predictive as a company. And to do that, there's this missing part, right? Something, and this is where Smabbler comes in. It's like an intelligent language layer on top of data repositories that this language engine combined with a knowledge graph is able to transform, store, and provide those data.
Yeah, look, and everybody, before we started recording, we discussed, I cannot avoid this. We discussed Luke's dad's achievements, scientific achievements, and so on. And you mentioned that he's the geological guru, you could say, right? And what you mentioned right now, you wanted to avoid this, but I will not allow you. So there is a bridge between your dad's achievements. Because Luke thinks that he would be in the shadow of his father if he followed the steps. It will be easy in the beginning, but more difficult later on, I understand. And so you chose something completely different. But here is a bridge. Here is a bridge. So you said the data is locked in a text, human text, and this is very similar to the actual oil extraction, which is usually not in liquid reservoirs. It's all usually locked in rocks, basically. And what you need to do is to drill it down, and then due to the differences in pressure and sometimes fracking, you extract the oil. And then this oil could be the fuel for all the necessary uses of a car, let's say combustion, engines and so on, for emergency, for firefighting, for robbing a bank, to be completely honest, and so on and so right, and so on and so on. So this is what you're doing. You're fracking, or you're drilling into the text rock, trying to frack out or trying to extract basically the true fuel for the computer language fueled systems and context. So let's finish.
Yes.
Sorry, go on. Yes.
Yes, we can use that type of example. Let me maybe expand a little bit, so or build on it. Yes, on one side you have the source, right? You know there is something there, something valuable. You want to use it, right? On the other side, you have many different uses, and that could or processes that could be enriched with the sources, the resource that is there, right? So you need something which is able to take it out, transform it, and provide it, right? But at the same time, not only in a way, extract it and pour it, pour it somewhere on the ground, right? You want it packed, labeled, and done at scale with the same tool that you can apply simultaneously, scalably across all the different fracking sites. Get all the information, have this global, let's say, resource bank, which is very nicely structured and labeled, prepared for further refinement. So that's
to cap it all. To cap it all, oil is not extracted completely refined and pure and ready to use. Of course, there's water, there's elements like hard particles and so on. You have to throw away this waste or unneeded stuff or information noise in your context, and then refine and use it or pack it into specific dosages, let's say, concentration and so on, and then give it into the market for actionable fuel, or in this case data usage. Enough for the warm-up. Look, let's dive into round number one, solution itself. What are you building, and how is this different from whatever is found or can be found on the market already?
Okay, so I will start maybe from the end. So what is on the market? Basically, the market status for many years since now is that any language tasks should be applied through using neural networks, for example, or basically all NLP solutions, or most of them are based on neural networks. The problem is that neural networks they're based probabilistics and statistics, and language is not statistical. So that means it's a completely different approach had to be taken, right? And we took something completely different. We worked for a couple of years and let's say in stealth mode, doing our taking a guess and then a hypothesis, and then improving it internally, and we saw that it works. What does it mean? We created our own language engine combined with our own knowledge graph, which is able to first of all understand any type of topical domain. So it's not only dedicated for narrow domains like the statistical tools out there, right? It's not all, instead of being only, let's say, dedicated for topics related to pharmaceuticals, or only related to pizza ordering, or only related to something else. This is one engine, horizontal, universal, general, however you want to call it, which is applicable for any type of topical domains that you have in your texts. So
after some process of educating the system,
I see, and that's another difference, because so let me also support myself with some of the slides, because I'm prepared. I think you maybe had a chance to see them as well, or maybe not.
Yeah.
But basically, the whole idea that what the currently solutions, they require a lot of data for training for the models, right? That means also these trainings require a lot of resources, computational resources. That means since they require a lot of data, they are dedicated, so they are based on that data. The model is created for that data that they're trained on. So it's not universal, it's narrow.
Closed, yes.
It's closed, yes. Second of all, and they require that data preparation. If you want to, let's say, shorten the number of data to analysis, you have to spend a lot of manual work for data preparation, data cleaning, and so on, selection for those training of models. In our case, there is no process of training. You don't train a model.
No process of training, meaning the system goes like it knocks itself out at the initial data fed into the system, but that means necessarily that it creates lots of mistakes or false positives or misinterpretations. Isn't that the case? How do you deal with these?
Because it's a different approach, since you don't require training, because you take data as is for analysis, and it's immediately is able to infer from text the different contextual connections, functions, the relations between the words, sentences, phrases, paragraphs, documents, and so on. So
what languages do you cover now?
And this is also a good question. At this moment, we are covering English, Polish, obviously, as well, Chinese, French, and now Spanish. And we are now, in the next couple of months, we're expanding 20 plus languages, which is also another difference, because most of the models that you have out there on the market, they are dedicated for a specific language, right? So not only they're dedicated, what the market, dedicated per language, very often dedicated to a topic domain. Second of all, they require a lot of preparation, manual work, which is very costly. Plus, they are not really adaptable to new information that might come in. You would have to retrain the model. So again, they're not really flexible. They're very narrow and they're very static. In our case, you pass all those negatives. You basically being able to with our technology, we're able to produce a solution which is let's say able to immediately create automatically ontologies based on the information that is analyzing, and be able to infer from that text, structure it in a very consistent format, and provide that information. So that's why for us it does scalability across processes, across industries, across topical domains, with the same model, the same language engine, the same knowledge graph. That's the advantage.
It sounds to me like a design of a perpetuum mobile, should I say?
It's a completely different approach. Like I said, it's not what everyone is doing, which is basically it's an arms race between how many number of GPUs are you able to utilize for your for the training of the model. But even after the training, even once the model is trained, right, the neural network models that you have there, just for you using that already trained model for inferring from text, it also takes a lot of computational power, and it's still not flexible, not scalable across the different topical domains. In our case, when we were actually by one of our clients, we were benchmarked with their data team that they were using the current state on the market solutions. We had double the relevancy of the information of the outputs. The whole application was set up as a fraction of the time compared to that one. Plus, it's flexible because we could ingest new information without even providing any additional work inputs for preparing the language engine. So flexibility, scalability, universality. What else?
For me, it's still unbelievability until I see and test it myself somehow.
Yes. The long goal is obviously artificial general intelligence, but that's a long goal. But it's something that we are.
Okay. What about practical? Yeah. What about practical dimension? How are you now ready for the market? And do you have clients or pilots? What's the pricing model? I know it's a bundle of questions, but take them one by one. You know what I mean. Business. What's the business reality right now for the company?
Yes, the technology is there. Yes, we are productizing it. Yes, we have clients. Yes, it's working. They're different. At this moment, we are a enterprise software working on premise. We are also at the stage of preparation for going into having a solution on the cloud to expand it to more or different type of clients, so to speak, and different type of challenges as well. We are also testing different use cases at this moment with different industries to prove to ourselves and improve the universality of the solution. At this stage, we see that it is universal, and we're very happy with that because that was the main objective for us when building the whole technology. So yes, we're rolling out, and we are coming out of stealth mode, yes, so to speak.
Why did you choose to go into stealth mode in this case?
Because it took the area that we are with, it's a pure R&D, right? So that means it takes a lot of effort and a lot of time and maybe some luck as well to achieve a goal that we set ourselves in the beginning. And we wanted to make sure that what we have, there's a technologically proof, that it's market proof, that it's actually working, and then that we can come out to the market and also to the clients, but as well to the VCs to have something completely ready and not just an idea.
Okay. To put away the hype about the company and focus on R&D, so that the growth stage is hyper growth later on.
Yes,
so you mentioned, look, you mentioned clients. You mentioned clients, and that you are now you have already what, paying customers as well. In what industries? If not the name, if you cannot tell the name,
I would like to prefer not to, because I would not prefer not because
describe the industries and the use
okay.
cases.
At this moment, the main one that we are also focusing on is let's call it global manufacturing companies. So the use case is also global. In this case, we are rolling out across the different, like I mentioned earlier, the different languages, different topics, so basically analyzing all the textual assets in the company to be able to provide them for the front end.
No, come on, impossible. The whole textual dimension, like CRM, purchasing, procurement, HR, marketing, all of it.
This is in the pipeline. The first one is we started to do accessing all the information in CRM. So basically, all the different emails and the communications. And the second phase is to include all the different documentations about quality documentations, about surveys, client surveys, and so on. So it's a rollout for different let's say textual sources. But yes, the end goal is to have all the information in text that you have in text connected in one let's say superset, a structured superset, one knowledge base for the company that you can federate and reuse that knowledge across different applications and processes.
Do you care at all what type of CRM a client uses right now, or you don't care?
No, it doesn't matter, because it's usually okay. It also depends whether you want to connect directly to a CRM, but very often these types of organizations have let's say data repositories, right? That you have the different data layers that you have. You can connect directly to the database with the raw information, and you can provide into your analytical layer already the let's see the analyzed and structured information.
Yeah, money wise, are you earning right now, or still don't care about this? And if yes, what's the MRR more or less?
I would not like to disclose it tomorrow, the MRR, but we are at this moment, we are earning, yes, and we are let's say ×4 versus year to year in terms of revenue growth. So I think that's pretty good. Yes, and we care about that, obviously, because it's always good to, when you're in the business field, it's the business. We're not in the nonprofit, right? So to be frank, right? I mean, obviously we're here also not only from the R&D perspective, which we really enjoy and love to have this competitive edge over what is out there on the market, but at the same time, obviously we're here also to make a business, right?
Interesting. Let's move on to next round. Round 2 is competitors. You basically covered this already, that you have a completely new approach and a completely novel kind of like mechanics behind the whole process. Anyways, yes. Is there anybody in this crowded space who is close to what you're doing? And if yes, like benchmark yourselves.
Okay, so obviously, okay, if we talk about the different approaches that companies have in terms of selecting from the competition, right? The first competitor that we have is that the companies do nothing, right? Doing nothing is the best, is always the greatest competitor, because usually they have to be companies which want to actually do something. They want to digitize, they want to improve, they want to be more predictive, and so on. They want to evolve.
No. Don't switch to clients, because what you say right now is not your competition. It's your dormant clients, or they are not yet aware that they need you. And these are client side. What about your competition?
Our competition, obviously, if you talk about from the technological perspective, not the business perspective, but technology, okay. So obviously, if we talk about a very general space of natural language processing, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of competitors out there, or different companies which are doing many different things. Like I said, so the landscape is very fragmented and very dedicated to specific tasks, right? Which means if you would like to access knowledge and text holistically across the whole organization, you don't have any solutions like that, because they're very narrow. You would end up with thousands of different vertical applications, front-end applications, which are dedicated for specific tasks. But the whole idea for this company is to have this information connected, to have them horizontally available for everyone, consistent, and this is not achievable with the current technology state of the art. So, and except Smabbler, of course, because we took a completely different path. So language engine plus knowledge graph, which is able to transform it at scale.
Okay, look, what you say right now, I mean, look, what you're saying is basically like a big declaration. What you say, we are unique, nobody else is doing this. And let's take this for a fact for a second. How do you plan to defend your uniqueness in the short term, long term?
Okay, as we estimate, we have a couple of years of competitive advantage in terms of the technology where we are right now, and how to defend it. Okay, there are different areas, right? Because on one side you might have big companies, huge multi-billion companies, which are let's say their domain is tech, right? Deep techs and so on. At the same time, we have many different smaller solutions out there which utilize the frameworks created by the big companies, right? So basically, if someone is using a framework which is already available there, that means everyone is at the same, more or less at the same level. To create a completely different framework requires a lot of time, and this time and this R&D part requires a lot of effort. So this is not available to everyone. There's let's say there's a moat in terms of competitive advantage that is hard to go into business and create completely your own language model, right?
I agree, but as an investor, I'm not at ease right now. So let's say initially I'm interested, but then when it comes to defending my interest in your company, I haven't heard a like safety kind of statement for me. How would you be able to defend quite directly? Is it patentable?
Yes, it is patentable. Of course, there's the whole point whether it should be patented or not. Why? There's a topic because at this stage we did not patent it because we wanted to. If you patent, you have to provide the method. In the patent as well, so you have to disclose some kind of information. At the same time, but yes, it's fully patentable, and this is something that we want to have in the pipeline. But we have in the pipeline to do that. Why? Because it's also like you mentioned, from an investor perspective, it's always good to have some kind of say papers and documents. But at the same time, technology is moving so much forward that if you patent something at this moment, how in 10 years can be, or it can be circumvented. The whole idea is to keep the idea and the method and the approach as you know how.
Yeah. I think Elon Musk mentioned one. The question was, why don't you patent your solutions and designs and so on? And he said something like a patent is an invitation to a court proceeding, basically, or to a legal fight. Invitation to a legal fight. We want to spend our time and effort somewhere else. I understand.
That's an interesting concept. At this moment, we're quite fine with that, because I mean, we know that we're doing something completely different. But the whole idea is you're inviting more competition, actually, if you are going to provide something. If this is something which is in the background, it's a solution that you have that was created based on a concept. The concept was completely different. The application then of the concept into making into reality. And this is where we are now. And we see that we have the advantage, competitive advantage in terms of the output that we can provide, in terms of the scalability that we can provide, in terms of how the clients can see that, because they have the understanding of the technological landscape. So they have already tried the different applications for many years for this topic, and they were not satisfied. And they came to us. They did a first test, and they were surprised that there is something that which is able to finally solve their problem.
Look, let's move on. Round 3. Relax a little bit, I hope. Quick Q&A. What are your own productivity hacks? And not the tools, but what the way you do this to achieve, I mean, more productivity, you know?
Now, I won't say coffee, because obviously everyone will say that. Productivity hack. You know, I'm not really prepared to such a question. I don't know if I have any specific. If it would be something specific, then it would feel like something is like a foreign object. If it's something ingrained in me, I don't see it as something specific, and I'm not able to identify it as specific, and I'm not able to provide it to you.
Good. So take this as a provocative question for today. Come back to us. We will follow up maybe as a footnote for this video. From the other point of view, a tool, what unique or exotic tool, application, program has helped you most in the last month or 3 months? And what I mean, outside of the stack, like, you know, Asana, Trello, Slack, like what, Salesforce, HubSpot, whatever. Anything new and really exotic that you were surprised how interesting, how effective this is?
Okay, so but then again, this is an internal tool for us. But because since we're working remotely, not only due to the COVID, but basically it's a very let's say flexible way of working, that the whole team is located in different areas, but communication is quite frequent and exchange of information is quite frequent. That means I think that the most useful tool is the file exchange that we have with encryption, that we can easily share information, share files on a high encryption level. I think this is something which is let's say helped us to better communicate and you know, exchange information. And
this is your own tool that you created for the company?
Yes.
Interesting. Do you think this is scalable? Can it be found interesting in the market space as well?
Haven't thought about that, but
let's discuss it after the
podcast. I think it could be. I think it could be interesting, because as a spin-off, a separate solution.
My idea. No. My idea. Let's discuss it after the podcast. Let's move on. Look, number 4, company. So you mentioned several years of stealth mode R&D, and that's you were learning the language of the language processing. I understand graphs, ontologies, and whatnot. Now, as far as founders, there are 3 of you: Luke Pytel, Aga Kopitko, Przemysław Bierut, right? All of you are no. Aga is a data scientist, I understand. Przemek is lead like CTO, right? So to say, lead software engineer, and you are more of the what, like
okay. Let me explain. Yeah, so Aga is the CTO. She's the head of R&D. She is the author of the algorithm. So she's like the Michelangelo of our company. Przemek is fantastic.
Should I say Michelangelo?
Michelangelo, yes. Przemek is a fantastic, let's say, developer. So he's like a software Da Vinci, right? So.
Okay.
I'm okay. I put in the funny. Try to put in a funny way. I'm the guy that does everything that nobody else wants to do. So all the boring stuff. So legal, finance, organizations, project management, and everything which is somewhere in the back. It keeps the company rolling, but it's not this maybe so beautiful as R&D, where you are creating something, there's something blossoms, and you can show it to everyone.
Yeah. So you're the most visible, the least valuable.
I have no response to that.
Oh, this is so bad. I mean, come on. My goal is to provoke, of course, but maybe to ask you for clarifications as well. And this was not what I meant. I was really hoping for you to come back with a punch back. You know,
Hunchback. No, see, I'm a good guy. I don't do things like this. So, but no, I think the most important thing is that we've grown, to really like each other. We were good friends. We were like a team which worked together from the very beginning. And I think we created together something beautiful, right? And this is something great.
Let me help you. When there are genius technical or coding guys and so on, every company like that needs a Steve Jobs figure. Let's stop at this and move on. What about the rest of the team? How many team members you have right now?
Yeah, so we are right now hiring at this moment. So we're increasing the headcount. The team has increased from 8 recently to 12 now, I think, and from the beginning of the year, from this year, 2022.
And so mostly on the back end rather than marketing sales yet, right?
Yeah, development, IT development. Yes, for sure. This is...
Okay. How do you sell, by the way? I mean, the sales process, is it like a little bit of by chance, or is there inbound interest already, or you just convert whatever meeting you have at an event or something? Or is it a systematized? I mean, is it systemic process of sales right now?
We are now creating a specific process, sales process, because as you mentioned, that might be interesting, that our first paying client, the Fortune 500 company, and they found us.
Yeah, this is what I mean. This spreads quickly, especially if you can prove this is unique and not yet in the market and so on. Okay, nice. Last round, Luke, round 5, Formula F3, and this is funding for the future. But I will need your help. Your external funding by now is not very public, or I couldn't find.
It's not very public, and it's very low at this moment because we have been bootstrapping for a long time by ourselves. We were fortunate enough to have our own resources to be able to do that, which we're happy for that. And we wanted to make sure first that we're ready to actually start going into the VC market. And this year we closed our first small round with a Polish VC and wonderful angels. And now we are in the process of picking and choosing the best partners in terms of the lead VC that we can start finalize the big round.
Yeah. And you mean what, May 27 this year, 2021, you had there a note base, I mean convertible, right?
Yes.
With Next Road Ventures, okay?
Yes.
And that was an interesting point. So you said you were full bootstrapped, and that means you guys had full-time jobs in other companies, or you had some other like conversions from, I don't know, previous exits, or you sold your houses, or you have one how to say, one liver? No, you have one liver, right? What do you have? What do you have? Kidney. Yeah, you have one kidney fewer. How can you survive stealth mode for several years?
Okay, we're actually working full time. The three of us working full time for a couple of years, and
together. By the way, together or in different companies?
No, together with Smabbler. So we've been working for many years in Smabbler. So we started, the incorporation is in 2018 because of different reasons. So one is to actually start, putting everything together under one company, and also applying to different accelerators that we wanted to learn a little bit more. But yes, previously we have been bootstrapping until this year by ourselves. Why? How? Well, we were fortunate to be able to in our previous jobs to let's say put aside some sums which helped us work. Obviously those years in bootstrapping were very, so to speak, harsh, right? Because you have to be really frugal in terms of spending.
Okay, so kidney is still your extra resource for the
Kidney
future.
is still there. I think it's still there, unless, you know, I was under narcosis and someone took it, but I think it's there.
Look, thanks a lot. Last question before we end. The next financing round or investment round, who would you define as your ideal VC if you go to the VC kind of avenue? Do you have a clear
Yes.
like expectation of the VC, or you will just take money from anybody?
No. We, like I mentioned before, it's not just about, you know, just money, because the whole idea is to have a partner in a VC partner for the long run. Why? Because we are creating something, not just something quickly small application which is there and the next day might not be there. We are actually trying to change completely the paradigm of how you approach to machine understanding of language, right? And this is we see a huge advantage because since it's, like I mentioned earlier, general, universal, horizontal solution, the applications are endless. It's just a matter of picking appropriate market first, and then a second, and then third, and so on. So the scalability is massive. The potential is massive. And if someone wants to be, you know, be together as a partnership, you know, on the roll run, jump on the train and let's conquer the world. Perfect.
To climb it all, or to bridge it all and bridge with the beginning, I understand Luke from Smabbler is looking for VCs who are interested in creating tectonic seismic changes in the natural language recognition ecosystem and give a revolutionary leap into the future. Thank you very much, Luke. All the best. Good luck.
Thank you so much. All the best.